Hi, hello. Welcome to my class on thermochemistry. Actually, this is one of the most important basis of our chemistry subject, in which we will begin by studying the nature and different types of energies, in which the principle which is interconvertible. And next, we will build up our vocabulary in learning thermochemistry, which is the study of heat change in chemical reactions. Also, we'll see the vast majority of reactions are either endothermic, that is absorbing heat, or exothermic, releasing heat. That type of things we'll see. And also, we learn that thermochemistry is a part of a broader subject called first law of thermodynamics, actually, which is based on the law of conservation of energy. And also, we see the change in internal energy that can be expressed in terms of changes in heat and work done of a system. Many things we will learn. We then become acquainted with the new term of energy called enthalpy, whose change applies to process called carried out under constant pressure conditions. Also, we'll learn the ways to measure the heat of reaction or calorimetry, and the meaning of specific heat and heat capacity and quantities used in experimental work, and knowing the standard enthalpies of formation of reactants and products enables us to calculate the enthalpy of a reaction. But also we'll discuss the ways to determine these quantities either by direct method from the elements or by the indirect method, which is based on Hess law of constant heat summation. And finally, we will study heat changes when solute dissolves in a solvent, that is heat of solution, and when a solution is diluted, that is heat of dilution. Okay, so these are the things we are going to learn in thermochemistry topic. Okay, it is the introduction I can see in this class. I am going to discuss about the introductory topics in this present session. As we all know that every chemical reaction which obeys two fundamental laws. What are those? Law of conservation of mass and law of conservation of energy. Law of conservation of mass, law of conservation of energy. So based on these two fundamental laws, every chemical reaction will be discussed. And also we discuss the mass relationship between reactants and products in this discussion. We have already been discussed, that is, and that will be noticed in thermochemistry also. And we will look at the energy changes that accompany in a chemical reaction. The first we'll see the nature of energy and types of energy in this introduction. Nature of energy and types of energy in this introduction. We all know that energy is a much used term that respects a rather abstract concept. For instance, we will feel tired. We might say we have not any energy. We haven't any energy. And we read about the need to find alternatives to non-renewable energy sources. Unlike matter, energy is known and recognized by its effects. It cannot be seen, it cannot be touched, it cannot be smelled, or it cannot be weighed. So that is a kind of a crucial information regarding energies. So what is energy? Energy is usually defined as the capacity to do work. This is nothing but the capacity to do work. Simple definition. And also we defined the work is nothing but which is force into distance. Force into distance. But we will soon see there are other kinds of work also in that thermochemistry discussion. Actually, all forms of energy are actually capable of doing work. That is of exerting a force over distance. But not all of them are equally relevant to chemistry. So that energy contained in tidal waves, for example, it can be harnessed to perform useful work, but relationship between the tidal waves and chemical chemistry is minimal. That's why chemists define work as a directed energy change resulting from a process. So according to chemists, what is work? Work is nothing but the energy change resulting from a process. Energy change resulting from a process. So that is the definition according to chemists. Now we know that kinetic energy is also the most important term in this discussion. That is also important type of energy we are going to discuss. That is kinetic energy. Nothing but the energy produced by a moving object, that is called as kinetic energy, is one form of energy that is a particular interest to chemists. Otherwise, that may include so many other energy forms also. So, what is the simple thing noticed by chemists in the beginning of this introduction is thermochemistry is energy produced by a moving object. Energy produced by a moving object. But in this, the other energy is also included. Radiant energy. Other energies which are included in the discussion are radiant energy is there, thermal energy is there, chemical energy is there, and potential energy is also there. So other forms of energies which are included, the one is nothing but radiant energy. Radiant energy. Not only this one, we have thermal energy. Thermal, radiant energy, thermal energy, chemical energy, what I told, potential energy, not only that one, so many other vibrational concepts also will come in the discussion. First we'll see what is that kind of radiant energy. Radiant energy, which is also known as solar energy. Solar energy. Actually, why we are calling this one as solar energy is nothing but this comes from the sun and is Earth's primary energy source is nothing but solar energy. And this solar energy heats the atmosphere and Earth's surface, which stimulates the growth of vegetation through the process known as photosynthesis and influences the global climatic patterns. That is the most important kind of energy, that is radiant energy. So what is radiant energy is also known as solar energy, and it comes from the sun and is Earth's primary energy source. And what is solar energy? Solar energy which heats the atmosphere and Earth's surface and also stimulates the growth of vegetation through the process known as photosynthesis. And also this radiant energy influences the global climate patterns. That is the importance of radiant energy. The next one we told thermal energy. Thermal energy. In the name itself, it is very clear that energy associated with the random motion of atoms and molecules. This is the energy associated with the random motion of particles. Random motion of particles or molecules. In general, thermal energy can be calculated from temperature measurements. That's why the more vigorous the motion of atoms or the molecules in a sample of matter, the hotter the sample is and the greater is the thermal energy. So thermal energy is corresponds to the motion of the particles, that are atoms and molecules. Okay. And also we need to distinguish carefully between this thermal energy and temperature, because all the temperature discussions are not thermal energy. Okay. For that, if you consider a cup of coffee, a cup of coffee, okay, when you consider a cup of coffee, if it is at 70 degrees Celsius, 70 degrees Celsius, has a higher temperature than a bathtub filled with warm water at 40 degrees Celsius. So this is very clear. That means much more thermal energy is actually stored in bathtub because it has much larger volume and a greater mass than the coffee Therefore, more water molecules and more molecular motion is present in this one, bathtub. So this is very simple example. What we have considered here is 70 degrees Celsius. Cup of coffee is at 70 degrees Celsius we have considered, which is known as higher temperature than a bathtub of water at 40 degrees Celsius. What is the meaning of this one is because it has much larger volume and greater mass than coffee. Therefore, more water molecules and more molecular motion takes place in this one. Okay, so that is the reason behind this one. And next move on to the chemical energy. Chemical energy. So after this, we have understand the chemical. The name itself is a chemical, nothing but which is stored within a structural units of chemical substances. Energy stored within structural units of chemical substances. Chemical substances. That is the chemical energy definition. And its quantity is determined by type of arrangements of constant atoms also. When substances participate in chemical reactions, what happens? Chemical energy definitely will be released and stored and converted to other form of energy. That means chemical energy will be stored in structural units of chemical substances. It can be stored in a chemical reaction. That means when the substances are participating in chemical reactions, chemical energy is released, or it can be converted into other form of energy, that is called as chemical energy. Okay. The next one we saw, that is potential energy. Potential energy. So what is potential energy? That means first we told kinetic energy is energy produced by a moving object or energy possessed by the virtue of motion of a substance, a particle, right? And potential energy is also such kind of thing. This can be defined is energy available by virtue of an object's position. That is nothing but energy obtained by virtue of object's position. For example, at the altitude, a rock at the top of the cliff has more potential energy and will make a bigger splash if it falls into the water below them. A similar rock located part away down the cliff. So two things are there. In other ways, we can also assume water present in the water tank in the high level has higher potential energy, higher energy than the energy present in the ground floor with a lower level. Okay, that is another example of this one. Not only this one, chemical energy can be considered as a form of potential energy in our discussion. As in thermochemistry, we will give more importance to chemical energy. So that chemical energy is also considered as a form of potential energy which is associated with the the relative positions and arrangements of atoms with a given substance. That's why chemical energy is also involved in the discussion, which is a higher priority in our topics. Why? Because ours is chemistry informations. Now, all forms of this energy can be converted from one form into another form. Of that, we will feel warm when we stand in sunlight, because radiant energy is converted into thermal energy on our skin. When we exercise, chemical energy stored in our bodies is used to produce kinetic energy. When a ball starts to roll downhill, its potential energy is converted into kinetic energy. Likewise, so many other examples are there. Undoubtedly, think of many examples like this. Although this energy can assume many different forms that are interconvertible. That's why scientists have concluded that energy can be neither created or destroyed. That's why when one form of energy dissipates into other form of energy, that means of equal magnitudes, or the vice versa, this principle is summarized as law of conservation of energy. Law of conservation of, once again I'll tell the definition, that is of law of conservation of energy is nothing but one form of energy disappears, other form of energy appears. That means energy can be neither destroyed or created. That is called as law of conservation of energy. In this, one thing we should remember, that is the total quantity of energy in the universe is always assumed to be a constant one in this discussion. Okay, that is regarding the nature of energy and types of energy in this discussion we have made. So in this introduction, we have given you the information regarding thermochemistry, and also we have given the nature of energy and types of energy, and what are the types of energies in details we have discussed in this topic, right? We will see the next things, energy changes, how that will take place in chemical reactions in the another information. Okay, thank you.